Are you really into making brand new things? Today, I'm making something very different than anything I've tasted before. Today, I am making what we're calling the Green Samurai, which is a new hot sauce based off of shishito peppers, ginger, garlic, Asian-style spices, and lots of peppers right here off of our farm. My name's Jonathan. I'm an Hell's Kitchen alum, an executive chef, homesteader, and I'm super glad you're here today because today we're making something super cool on the homestead. It's guaranteed to be different than anything you've ever tasted before. I'm really excited about this hot sauce. It's been a lot of work, a lot of fun, a lot of research. Hot sauce is one of our top items that we sell off of our homestead. It's a lot of fun. People get into it. They know that I make a couple of generic flavors like a Cajun red and a poblano green, but everyone gets really hyped on the chef's special stash. And this one might be my special stash for the year. So the first one up today using green peppers. So green peppers coming in on the farm so far. We've got these. First is a horned pepper. We got some jalapeños. Then we've got a banana pepper coming in. We got a green Tabasco, and then these beauties right here, Japanese curling chilies, all gonna make an absolute amazing hot sauce, and I'm really excited about it. Let's check it out. So let's talk about the equipment that you need to be making hot sauces. First things first, obviously a good jar. You've got multiple different sizes that are available. I will leave descriptions to all of these down below, but all three of these I use religiously and they're amazing. Next, you're gonna need a interlocking lid or a fermenting lid. It's got a hole in there so you could put one of those airlocks on top. Obviously, before we start, make sure all these are super, super clean. These just got out of the super hot water. They're gonna be nice and clean for our hot sauce. Now for our hot sauce, we want to add in a couple of different flavors to kind of bump it up a little bit. So again, we're going to add in our hot sauces here. And I really got this idea of this Asian themed hot sauce. So I'm going to be doing something a little different. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm really excited about it. You know, I got inspired by all these Japanese, almost like shishito peppers. That's what they look like to me. They didn't call them that when I bought them at the seed store, but that's what they look like to me. Kind of pack them in there a little bit. There we go. Still got some spice to go, so let me back a few out. All right. You can always add some more right there on top. Next, I want to add a couple hits of garlic, some fresh ginger. Next is something just a little different. I'd be lying to you if I said I knew how to say that. We're going to add in the spice mix in here and really add that next level of spice to our hot sauce. Pieces of cinnamon stick. Got a lot of spice in here, so we're gonna kind of off. Oh, not all peppers are created equal when it comes to hot sauce. Obviously, some are hotter than others. I don't know if we necessarily got enough heat as far as Scovilles in this hot sauce. You can also start to worry about color. I'm not sure how these Japanese peppers are going to do with fermenting and what their color on the other side is. Bell peppers do really well, so if you really want a bright green, you can add in a bell pepper in here to ferment, and that'll help with the color and keeping it nice and green. This can ferment up and then turn kind of an off color of brown. With those spices and everything, it smells amazing, but I'm also worried about that as well. Now, the next thing very important into this, so we've got all this in here, but we got to have the medium, the vacuum that's going to help transfer all of that flavor. But we need it to be a safe environment for the right fermentation to happen. So essentially, we're about to sit this on our counter and not touch it for 7 days. But if we were to do that with just any liquid, we just go to tap water and put it in here, you're going to get a rapid level of weird things that grow in here. I've tried it. It turns into an absolute science project. What we need to do is use a 2% water solution, specifically using distilled water. Distilled water has no chemicals. You know, here in America, our water is slap full of different chemicals and things of that nature. We don't want that in there. We want it to be just straight water and 2% salt. You literally weigh it up. I always do it in grams so I get a better accurate number. And what that's going to do, basically you weigh out your water. You weigh out your water by grams. Then we're going to multiply that out by 0.002, and that's going to let us know how much salt that we need to add. Now, you could be above that. That's 2% salt. You could be, I don't really recommend being below that, but you can go up to 5%. The more salt you have, the slower the fermenting process is going to be. So I've already pre-done this. I kind of make this in big batches. For 1 gallon of water, that's like 75 grams of salt, I think it is. Don't quote me on that. Add this in. Next thing we need is a weight to keep all of this below that water line. These glass weights right here do a great job. Fit perfectly right in there. Puts everything below the water line. Give it a little bit of a push. And it should go without saying, but just so I'll say it, make sure you label and date this. You will inevitably forget what day you did this. What salt percentages? I like to write down the recipes for it. That way I have a reference for next time. Make sure you keep up with that. Finally, it is time to try our hot sauce and get it processed. I'm really excited about this. This is something completely out of my element, something new, and that's why I love fermenting, getting to try new stuff. It's kind of like an experiment every single time you do it. First off, the smell off of the spice is just wafting up. It smells really good. Let's take a good look here at the tops. Notice that there's not any buildup on top. Sometimes you get like this super... somebody describes it as like penicillin over the top. We don't have any of that going on. This is actually looking phenomenal. The aromatics off of this is really good. I'm really excited about this one. This one might be the flavor of the year in my opinion. So before we get going with this process though, let's walk through everything you're going to need right out the gate. So first things first, we're going to need some kind of heating source. I like using these induction ovens. Just makes things super easy, super clean around the tabletop. Sometimes you just want to be able to work with it and not have to have like a full big stove or whatever. I get it. It's a luxury. It's not necessarily required, but it is nice. Nice thick pan that's going to hold heat really, really well. Next is our blender outside of a restaurant grade RoboCoupe. This is my next favorite blender. It does a great job, processes food really well. And again, comes in a couple different tops, so you can get smoothies, you can get blends, whatever it might be, or just processing. It all does a really good job. Next, we're going to need a fine mesh strainer to help us out, and then a couple of vessels to kind of strain into. That could be bowls, that could be third pans, a couple different options that you have there. And then next is what you're actually going to be bottling them up in. I have in the links down below nice, beautiful hot sauces that come with all the things you need for the hot sauce. So you need like the little caps, you need the lids, and the seals. All that's in that kit, so you don't have to buy any of that extra stuff. There's also a link down below to get your hot sauce labels printed. If you want to be extra like I do, I like fun hot sauce logos. So again, that's just fun, just a fun way to flex and on your buddies and have a great time cooking. So first things first, let's get this fermentation process stopped. Right now you can maybe see like all these bubbles and everything that comes up, and that's great. That's a good sign that fermentation has happened. How do we know when fermentation is enough though? I don't think I've answered that yet. We're taking this to a pH below 3.2. I typically take mine to 2.6 to 3.0. That's the sweet spot for me. That's where I like to be. This is at a 2.9, so it's absolutely perfect where we want to be. So I'm going to strain this off into here. I need to be super careful because I got that glass weight. There we go. Take that glass weight. Make sure you always kind of catch that thing. The last thing you want is a giant glass shard down in your hot sauce. This is definitely the most aromatic hot sauce that's been made here. So let's bring this up to a boil, reduce down to a simmer, and we're going to let that simmer for a minimum of 120 seconds. Sometimes I'll take it up a little bit more. Really what I'm looking for is to, one, the peppers be dissolvable whenever I go to blend it. The next part of that is just making sure that the fizzy and all that carbon dioxide is broken down. What could happen if we don't stop that fermentation process completely is that we add our hot sauce in here. The yeast is still active. That carbon dioxide is going to expand it, and it's going to explode this jar, and it's not a good time. So let's bring this up to a boil. So our hot sauce has come to a boil, come down to a simmer, hit it up for a solid 2 minutes to cook out any of the fizzy bubbles that are in there. Now it's time to give it a blend. Now there's some more solid chunks in here, so I'm going to do something a little bit different than I do to my other hot sauces. I'm going to add in solids first and then add in liquid, but I need it to really pulse down. That smells out of this world good. Give this a strain first, and then we're going to move to this side. Now, green hot sauces are naturally difficult. The problem with them is that they lack, I can't think of the compound at the moment, but it lacks the ability to stay green. It's always going to want to like oxidize and turn brown. So with hot sauces, especially green hot sauce, that's where that green bell could come in hand if you see that it turns too much. I've not worked enough with like the shishito style peppers enough to know how they're going to react. So again, that's the joys of having a first try at something. Now, while I'm working this, I do have my pot of hot water working so I can bottle up these hot sauces. So make sure while you're doing this that you're going ahead and getting that hot water going. Now is our chance finally to taste it. We want to make sure we give it a good taste before we bottle it up. Pretty light on the heat. I was expecting it to really kind of zing. We added some jalapeños and a couple of green cayennes. The flavor is really, really unique. It's all very much so on the mild side. The spices and ginger really, really come through though. This is actually, I think, a very unique hot sauce. I feel like I just created a whole genre of hot sauces. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But let's bottle this up. Let's get it looking good. I'm actually really excited about this. I'm going to be sending it to some friends to try out. And let's see if we can get their feedback. This right here is amazing, delicious, wonderful hot sauce. It's been an absolute pleasure to make. It's got some zing, it's got spice, it's got sweetness, it's got bitterness, it's got some tartness, just a little something to kind of pucker you in your cheeks. Salty, it's got umami. Everything that you want in a very, very good hot sauce is there. Again, we're calling this the Green Ninja, and it is one fabulous kick to the throat, and I enjoy it. If you like this video though, make sure that you click over here because that means you're probably into fermenting and making hot sauces or just being around the homestead. So over here we're making wonderful hot sauces. This over here is going to be a safflower mustard hot sauce, super delicious. Make sure you stick around for that. Until you hop into this next episode, my name is John. I'm an executive chef, Hell's Kitchen alum, and I'm super excited that you're here. We'll see you next time here on Deep South Foodies.